Mr. President, this is a resolution that you have brought forward for consideration of the body. Mr. President, you are a former board member of Standing Together Against Rape. I'm a former executive director of the same organization, and I know one of the gentlemen that was introduced previously in our opening remarks was a former board member of Standing Together Against Rape also. Mr. President, permission to read?
Granted.
Mr. President, Senate concurrent resolution, the first whereas is what I wanted to put on the record. Whereas sexual assault affects women, children, and men of all racial, cultural, and economic backgrounds and occurs through acquaintance rape, stranger rape, sexual assault by a partner, child sexual abuse, incest, sexual harassment, prostitution, and pornography. Mr. President, every year we bring forward a proclamation to bring attention to the issue of sexual violence across our state. We look at what our Alaska Council on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault is doing and the actions that they're taking and the plan that they've presented to make our children, the people of Alaska, safe, as well as the group Alaska Network on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault, who represent organizations throughout our state working to end violence against one another Alaskans. All of you know, you've heard me speak before, you've heard many people speak before about the staggering Alaska statistics, but the nation's statistics are just as bad. CDC reports that 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men will be victims of violence and sexual assault in their lifetime. That's horrible. In Alaska, those rates, as you know, are much higher, almost 2.5 times higher. Sexual violence is preventable. It is a social, public health, criminal justice, and human rights issue. This year, the 2000 Sexual Assault Awareness Month campaign focuses on building blocks of prevention by communities and individuals, the private sector, action steps to promote safety, respect, and equality. Mr. President, back to the concurrent resolution before us, I will point your attention to 2,056 children who were brought to child advocacy organizations for checkups to see if they have been sexually assaulted or abused. 1,398 Alaskans sought help in a domestic violence shelter or a rape crisis center in our state. Mr. President, on a positive note, approximately 3,000 volunteers, Alaskans from individual communities, devoted 63,368 hours in trying to help address this issue. Mr. President, I encourage everyone to stand together with the organizations that work across our state and vote yes to acknowledge out loud that sexual violence is preventable and join in making that a reality for our people.